In this video, I want to show you how we traveled only by hitchhiking across the entire country of Iceland. All of our transportation in this country was done by hitchhiking, or what we call walking with a thumb out. We hitchhiked from the Keflavik International Airport. That's where our adventure began. This is located on the southwest coast of Iceland. Our first stop was going to be the Golden Circle. And we had heard that if we hitchhiked all the way to this area from the airport, we would probably get there in under an hour. And luckily, our first ride was over an hour long, and it dropped us off right at the start of the Golden Circle route. The driver even offered to drive us all the way to Thingvellir National Park, which is one of the main stops on the Golden Circle route. So we couldn't have asked for a better start. We spent about 3 days exploring this area and seeing all of the top sites. This includes the Golden Circle route, as well as some secret waterfalls that we found along the way. While we were in the Golden Circle area, we met some other travelers who had driven all the way from Curry in the north. And they told us that there were very few cars on the road, because most people go to the Golden Circle during the day, and then they head back to Reykjavik at night to stay in one of the many hotels around the city. But since we were traveling by foot, we weren't able to make it all the way up north before dark. So we ended up camping out for the night. The next day, we set off towards the Blue Lagoon, which is just 20 minutes away from the airport. We had a long walk ahead of us. If we were going to make it all the way to Reykjavik before nightfall, thankfully, cars started passing by pretty often once we got closer to the city. We hitched a ride all the way into town. We got dropped off at our hostel, checked our stuff in, and headed out to explore the city. There are lots of cool things to do in Reykjavik, like the famous Hallgrímskirkja Church, the Sun Voyager sculpture, and the Harpa Concert Hall. But our favorite thing to do was simply walking around and checking out all of the colorful buildings. You can also take a free walking tour here, which will take you all around the city. We did this tour on our last night, and it was a great way to learn about the history and culture of Reykjavik. There's also the option of doing a ghost tour at night. We opted to skip that since we were already exhausted from all of our walking. The next day, we took a bus about an hour and a half outside of the city to the start of the Logavur hiking trail. This hike is considered to be one of the best in the world. And since we were planning to hike all the way to Landmannalaugar, which is about 55 kilometers or 34 miles away, we knew that it was going to be a long day. The good news was that we didn't have to worry about getting a ride to the trailhead. The bad news was that we were have to carry all of our stuff on our backs. The Logavur Trail is a popular hiking route, so much so that we actually saw more people on this trail than we had seen on the roads throughout the entire country. Even though we don't like hiking, we had heard so much about this trail that we were excited to experience it ourselves. Plus, the views along the way are absolutely breathtaking and definitely worth the sore legs and blisters. Since we had to start our hike early in the morning, we packed some oatmeal, fruit, nuts, and energy bars for the trail. We also brought a small tent, sleeping bag, and trekking poles. It's recommended that you hike this trail with a guide, but we decided to go it alone to save some money. If you're interested in learning more about this hike, we'll leave a link in the description box below. At the end of the second day on the trail, we made it to Landmannalaugar, and we were rewarded with a beautiful view of the surrounding mountains and hot springs. Set up our tent, boiled some water, and ate some freeze-dried food. While watching the clouds roll by, it was a perfect end to a perfect day. The morning after packing up, we headed over to the nearby lake for a quick swim. Then we started our hike back down the mountain. Our goal was to make it back to the car park before dark. We had a long walk back to Reykjavik. We got back to the city, we checked into another hostel, and then went to one of the local restaurants for some traditional Icelandic fish and chips. We loved the batter they use on their fish. It was super crispy and almost tasted like a tortilla chip. Later that night, we met a couple who had driven over from the North Coast, and they invited us to join them on a whale watching tour the next morning. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we couldn't pass up. We booked the tour at 5 a.m., and although it was freezing cold, we were excited to see whales in their natural habitat. We joined a group of about 20 people on the boat. Most of them were from the U.S., and we quickly made friends with a family of 4. After about 2 hours searching for whales, we finally spotted one, and then soon after, we saw another. These humpback whales were massive and graceful, and we could unbelieve how lucky we were to witness such an amazing sight. Once we got back to shore, we grabbed some lunch and then took the bus to the Blue Lagoon. We spent the afternoon swimming in the warm geothermal waters while enjoying the beautiful views. The cool part about this place is that the water is a bright blue color, unlike any pool or hot tub that we've ever seen. To be honest though, the Blue Lagoon wasn't really our cup of tea. We love nature and being outdoors, but this place felt too commercialized for our taste. But hey, everyone's different. So if you want to visit, we won't stop you. Just know that it's expensive and it's crowded. After the Blue Lagoon, we drove back to Reykjavik and checked into our last hostel of the trip. The next morning, we explored more parts of the city and did the free walking tour. In the afternoon, we headed over to the airport to catch our flight home. Overall, we had a fantastic time exploring Iceland. Locals were friendly, and the scenery was spectacular. Plus, we saved money by hitchhiking instead of renting a car. Now, let me answer some questions that we've been getting about hitchhiking in Iceland. First, of cars passing by, we're surprised at how often cars passed us on the side of the road. On the first day, we had to walk along the side of a highway, but after that, we mostly walked on the shoulder of smaller roads. Most of the cars in Iceland are front-wheel drive, and the drivers tend to be careful and considerate. However, there are a lot of trucks that drive through the middle of the road, so we always try to stay as far to the right as possible. As far as safety goes, we never felt unsafe while hitchhiking in Iceland. Actually, we felt safer there than we do in some parts of North America. When we were walking on the side of the road, we always try to make ourselves visible by wearing bright clothing and carrying a flashlight. Also, when we were hitchhiking, we always kept our bags close to us, and we didn't take anything out while the car was driving. Lastly, let's talk about the weather. The weather in Iceland is unpredictable, so be prepared for anything. We had sunny and rainy days during our trip, and no matter what, we were always prepared with a rain jacket and a change of clothes. When hitchhiking, we try to be flexible with our plans and be ready to move at a moment's notice. Sometimes we had to walk farther than we expected, so it was important that we had a backup plan. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe for more amazing travel experiences. And check out the links in the description for cheap flights, hotels, cars, and more.